All right, boys. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to find a high-ticket sales job using Instagram. Now, I've done a lot of these videos in the past, but I'm going to start making more of these visual examples where I show you guys how I go through a profile, how I would message them, what I would say, the things that I look for, because I feel like giving you as many visual examples as possible just makes it easier for you guys. So that's going to be the point of this video. I'm going to do a lot more of those coming in the future. Now, these three profiles that I'm using, these are just examples. These are random people. So don't go and message them. I'm not saying that these are the people you should go and message. They're just a good example of a high-ticket business. And all of these are going to be in the trading niche, which I went and picked from because this is info marketing. They're high-ticket, and it's just an easy example to show you. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I have other videos on my channel where I show you exactly how to identify what a high-ticket business is. There's screen recordings just like this. So I'm not going to go over those specific details in this video. Go watch those other videos. But at this point, I mean, you should pretty much know, right? Like, you want to look at their bio first. Do they have links in here? What are they selling? He clearly has a link in his bio that's going to be going to some kind of program that he's selling. And this is the first place you want to look. Remember, I've said before, I don't really care about the followers. You don't really want to look at that because it's not a good indicator of if they have a successful business or not. People can be running a successful high-ticket business with less than 500 followers. I've seen that, doing over 50K a month and more. So the followers is not a good metric, all right? What you can look at is their content, though. And let's see if this Loom doesn't freeze my computer. That's basically what it does. Loom is such a piece of shit. If anybody knows a screen recording software that doesn't freeze and lag your computer, please let me know. But you can look at this guy's engagement, okay? Like, he gets tons of likes, tons of comments, things like this. Engagement is a good indicator when they have a huge following like this that people probably want to buy from them, that he knows what he's doing. Does he post content every day? Looks like he does, things like this. So just as a quick review, those are the types of things that I look at when I come to a profile. Okay, what are they selling in the bio? I'll click through the links. What is it? I already know he's taking you to some kind of free community where he's going to upsell you on some high-ticket product. So I know that he's selling something expensive and that he has salespeople. Then I'm going to look at the engagement. Lots of engagement. Is he getting likes? And a side note, if you come across someone's profile and they have like no followers, you can still come and look at the engagement and see, okay, are people, based on the ratio, are people liking this? Are there people commenting, things like this? That's how you can tell if they probably have a significant amount of traffic and they're probably needing closers. So like for my business, on my tiny Instagram account, I take all the sales calls because I'm not even, this is like a part-time thing, right? I still close half the day. The other half the day is the business, but I have plenty of time to take the calls for myself. So I'm a good example of someone that doesn't need a closer. When people DM me, I just don't need them because I want to take all the calls. But this guy has scaled up to a size where he probably needs one, okay? Because of the size that he's growing to, the engagement that he's getting, and the amount of sales calls that he's getting. So these are just things that you want to think about. And when I say I'm running this business part-time, that doesn't mean I'm half-assing it. What it means is I don't work with that many people. I only do one-on-ones, and I only take on a few people at a time so I can give those people my full attention and energy. So just to be clear. Now, first thing you want to do once you come to a profile and you've identified that you want to reach out to this guy, you got to click the follow button, okay? If you don't follow them and you send them a message, people don't like that. They get very sensitive for some reason. So if you don't, I mean, it makes sense to me. I get why people feel that way. So just click the follow button. And what you want to do is, as you're doing outreach, your following number right here is going to get higher and higher, right? You don't want it to get too high. So I would say like once a week, you want to look at your following account and maybe go back to the oldest people who haven't replied at all, and you want to unfollow those people. That's how I would do it. So make sure you click the follow button, and then we're going to send this guy a message whenever this thing stops freezing my computer. Now, there's two ways to do this. I recommend that you go straight into doing the video outreach. You start learning how to film these like 90-second Loom videos, personalize them for each profile, and send them a Loom. So you go to loom.com. It's a screen recorder that makes it easy for you to get links to the videos. So you can film a Loom video on your phone, and then you can paste the link into the message, and you can send it. And then there's a picture of your face in the message, all right? So it's everyone who runs a high-ticket business knows what Loom is. They're very familiar with it, so they're all going to click on it and watch it. But if you're not ready to do video messages and you just want to do text, I have a complete video on this. It's called How I Make 10K a Month Annoying People on Social Media. Go watch that video. But as a rough example, what you want to do in these messages is you don't want to talk about yourself. Okay, you don't want to come in there and be like, hey, I'm so amazing. This is why you should give me a job. You don't want to do that. You want to talk about what you can do for them. All right? And this guy, what types of problems does he have? He probably has no fucking time because he's swamped with sales calls, and he probably needs a good closer. So either he's taking the calls or he's having trouble finding a good closer to take the calls for him. Sales calls take up a ton of time, right? It takes up all day. So a business owner, that's the first thing he wants off his plate, is a good salesperson to take his sales calls so he doesn't have to worry about it. And these business owners will tell you a good salesperson is extremely hard to find. Sales has a very high turnover rate because most people they're lazy. They're lazy or they're stupid. This is why. So they need these people. People need this. This is just a fact, all right? So when you come in here with a nice message and you're talking about solving a problem that he has, he's going to listen. If you run a business and you're like, fuck, I can't find a good salesperson, and people are coming into your DMs and you make a nice message, you're going to reply if he needs a salesperson. Now, quick side note, the reason that people will say, oh, I've been doing outreach and it doesn't work, is because they're sending terrible messages. All right, I talk about this in the other video. If you're not getting replies and you're doing tons of outreach and you're not getting any replies at all, it's because your messages are terrible and you're saying dumb shit, or you're not crafting the right messages, or you're not doing the videos correctly, period. That is why. So make sure you send a nice message and you don't use slang. You're not fucking using emojis. Use complete sentences, use correct grammar, and talk about what you're going to do for them. So you could say like, hey, I know you get a ton of leads coming in. I'd love to help you close those leads and help you grow the business so that you can get that time back, right? That's a way you could word it. That's part of the message. So talk about what you're going to do for them, all right? Keep it short, keep it sweet, and personalize it, right? So, and I talk about this in the other video. I will link it below. But just real quick, that's what you want to do. There's only two ways to do this. You're either going to come in here and you're going to do text, or you're going to send them a Loom video where you basically say on camera the exact message that you would have sent through text. You don't want to send long paragraphs, okay? You want to keep it short and sweet. One very short I don't even like the word paragraph. Just keep it short and sweet and to the point because they're busy. Talk about what you can do for them, things like this. Now, I just typed this message real quick because, again, I'm having trouble with this software. But this is a generic example of what you could say. I have better messages I give to people in my program, but this right here is better than what 99% of people are sending. So you could just say, hey, Casper, this is Matt. I've been following you for a while now, and I'm really interested in the trading space. I know you get a ton of leads coming in, and I'd love the chance to help you close those leads and grow your business. I know it'd be huge for you to get that time back. I'm not looking for a handout. I'm a hard worker and I want to earn my spot. Thanks for reading my message, and I hope to hear from you soon. Now, this is a very generic message, okay? But it's not about what you say. Everyone thinks you need to say these like magical fucking things and have these like crazy, creative, clever things to say, or people are not going to reply. Bro, if they have a problem and you come along and offer a solution to that problem, they're going to reply. I've never gotten a DM and been like, wow, that was so fucking creative. You're hired. Like, I don't care. That shit's annoying, okay? These tricks that, like, these kids are doing is annoying. Someone who's making money is fucking busy. They don't give a shit about this. If you come in there and you can say complete sentences, you offer a solution to their problem, they are 5,000 more times likely to reply. The problem is not that people are not saying creative things, it's that they're saying dumb shit, okay? I've seen thousands of business owners' inboxes. People come in there, they use slang, they're cursing, they're using emojis. They can't even type with correct grammar, bro. This is 2025. People are cooked. They're done, okay? So if you come in there and you can just type in complete sentences, you are ahead of 99% of people. I do this for a living. I know exactly what I'm talking about. The reason that you're not getting replies is not because your messages aren't good. It's because it's because your messages suck, okay? Now, most people, even if you send perfect messages, are not going to reply. This is a numbers game, right? You're trying to connect with a ton of different businesses until you find the correct ones. Everything in life is a numbers game. I don't care if it's money, jobs, girls, opportunities, everything is numbers. If you're not willing to do the numbers, you're not going to succeed at anything. So don't feel like this is a performance. This is the punchline I'm leading to. You don't need to say these amazing things. It's the same with sales calls, okay? You just need to nail the basics. If you come in here, you send a good message every single time, and you do the numbers every day, you're going to start getting replies from people who need what you're offering. That is business. That is sales. Now, I'm just going to do one more example because I don't want this video to get like super long. And like I said, I'm going to do like one of these a week where I give you new examples with new messages, things like this. But this is another example. Like, she's pretty massive, so she probably already has a sales team. However, she probably has a lot of salespeople drop out at the same time. So when you click on her bio, or I guess it's this one, it's going to pull up all these links, right? So I've already been through these. I already know what these are. When you go to her website, it's going to take you to a sales page for her info product. So she's going to sell you on joining her group and giving her $5,000 so she can train you on trading. And then she's got all these other things that you can buy as well. So here's your example of someone who's selling expensive stuff and needs salespeople. And then you can look at her engagement and stuff. I mean, she's smashing it, right? Insane engagement. This chick is making ridiculous money. When every single reel she does is over 100K views and 5,000 plus likes, things like this, she's making money, a lot of it. So she definitely has salespeople. This is a good example of how I talk about there's two different types of high ticket businesses. There's the person who's getting just massive engagement and has this huge following that's obsessed with them, like her. And then you have smaller people who might have like 1,000 followers who have a very niche audience that's very obsessed with them as well. So remember that you don't want to go off this number, okay? Both can be true. I've seen people with 500 followers making a lot of money, and then you see people who have a huge following and their engagement is through the roof. They can also be making a shitload of money. And on the flip side, I've seen people who have 1 million followers and no one wants to give them any money. Okay, so it's, again, the follower count is not a good indicator. So just to be clear. Now, same thing. You want to click the follow button. You cannot forget that. You've got to do that every time and just go to Messenger and do the same thing. It doesn't matter if you send the same message every time. So the way I would do it is I would take an example of the message that I gave you in the previous profile and make it your own. Just use that as a framework. There's no rules. You just want to make sure that you don't use slang, you're not cursing, you're using correct grammar, you're using complete sentences, you're not talking about yourself, you're talking about them, how you're going to help them. Keep it short and sweet and to the point. If you nail those things, you're literally doing what no one else is doing, and you send these messages consistently every day, you're going to succeed. I've never had anyone do this that didn't get a good sales job and make a lot of money. It's never happened. Like, if you do what I'm talking about in this video, you're going to succeed. People just don't take any action. They don't do anything. They just watch videos. Then they take the first step and they're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Let me go turn on Netflix. That's why you're broke. That's why you're not making any money. So just fucking do what I say in this video. Now, note on the videos, I highly recommend to wrap this video that you just dive into the looms, because you're instantly going to do way better than all the other people sending messages. You can still get good offers with messages just by sending them every day and following the guidelines that I talk about in this video. But if you can master, if you saw my Instagram yesterday, I talked about this. If you can master communicating on camera the way I am doing right now, and you can do that through Loom videos and you can send those to people, dude, these work so well, so well. It's such a good investment of your time to learn how to do this. I'm telling you, if you're trying to make money on the internet, if you master this one skill, you're going to smash it. You're going to crush it. So I know it feels awkward at first, and the second you go to start to do it, you're going to be like, oh, this is way harder than I thought. Just do it. Just rip the videos, get the reps, start sending them to people. The only way you're going to get better at this is if you just dive in and you throw your whole self into this, okay? Don't dip your toe in. Throw everything you got into this. But that would be my recommendation. These are a couple of examples. I'm going to start doing more of these once a week probably. So that would be my recommendation, is start with the videos if you can. And then if you need to start with the messages, you can start with both too. It doesn't really matter. So these are just some of my thoughts on this. And if you have any questions, just let me know. You can comment or just DM me on Instagram.